Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scaling Your Sewing Business with Technology Tools. My name is Edith Utete, and I am the founder of the Digital Wellness Foundation. I am also lead consultant, and I help people to use the technology safely, responsibly, and productively. Now, a little bit about me before I get to know you. I am an attorney by profession, but I have also found myself working in cyberspace as I help people to use technology to their best. I'm so happy to be here with you today, sharing how you can also scale your sewing business using technology tools. Now back to you. I would like to get to know you. If you can share in the chat box, how has tech been your friend? And how are you using tech in your sewing business so far? Please do share and add your comments in the chat box. Have you ever heard of the fourth industrial revolution? Before we go there, have you heard about the industrial revolution, where technology and industry were at the forefront of the world economies? Now, what we now find ourselves in is another revolution where we are using digital platforms to run our businesses, to make money, to exchange money, and to meet our different goals. So let me ask you this. Where are you positioned at this point? Are you a beginner in using digital platforms? Are you an intermediary, or have you been using them for so long that you feel like you are quite the expert? Please let me know where you are positioned. Now, when it comes to the use of technology, we find that it has helped us to make incredible and significant changes in our businesses and in our lives. I, for one, I found my business that, it thrived during the COVID pandemic, because when people were on lockdown, they were forced to come onto the digital platforms. And because of that, they were forced to also pay attention to what I was selling and what I was doing online. So because of that, my business and my life have, experienced these significant impact and so much transformation. But it is not something that just came haphazardly. I had to have a digital strategy, and this is what I would like to assist you with today. That as you are upscaling your sewing business using digital tools, you also need to have some kind of digital strategy. Can we say hashtag digital strategy? Hashtag digital strategy in the comments, because that's where we want to go. I want to invite you to have a new vision for incorporating digital solutions to your business. Put on your glasses and let's see what we come up with today. The solutions that I'm just going to be sharing are designed to help companies such as yours to optimally operate your processing plants, or to streamline your manufacturing processes in order for you to be able to maximize your revenue, to eliminate the inefficiencies of running your business, and to minimize costs that come with running an online sewing business. I just need to know something from you. As you are trying to use technology for your business, what is standing in your way? What is it that you are finding to be a stumbling block, a roadblock, as you try to navigate these digital spaces, as you try to use these digital tools in your business? Please share in the comments. I would love to hear from you. What is standing in your way? Is it efficiency? Is it productivity? Is it consumer satisfaction? Is it sales and marketing? Are these the areas where you need help the most? Are these the areas where you're struggling and maybe you feel will be helped by using digital tools? I know for sure that when it comes to digital tools, efficiency is one of the core results that we expect to get after using our digital tools. So if you are having any of those issues, please do let me know. And when it comes to consumer satisfaction, how is that going for you? Do you know that the digital tools can also assist you in that regard? Do you know that? Same with productivity. Do you want to be able to produce more through using these digital tools? And what about your sales and marketing? How is that going? Have you been able to use digital platforms to sell or to market your products? I would love to hear from you. Which of these has been your biggest stumbling block? Now that we've kind of looked at the areas where we would want to improve and the areas where we are struggling, how do we recalibrate using technology? How do we find our center again using technology? This is what we want to achieve by the end of this session. One way to find your center, to find your way back, to find your way into productivity and efficiency and consumer satisfaction is by understanding how the data can work for you. You need to look at your analytics. Now, when you look at all the social media platforms and the different apps that we're using, they usually have a space where you can analyze how much people are interacting, say with your website or with your social media platform, what they're saying, how is it that you're getting more people visiting your website? Are they staying long on that website? Are they also contacting you and interacting with you via that website? So you need to understand the data. When you see that people are interacting well, then you need to also make sure whatever you're doing right, you continue to do it. If you see that people are not interacting as well as you would like, then you need to shift gears a little bit in order to get the numbers that you desire. And don't go in there blindly. Have some kind of measure for your own success, for you to say, I have reached the level that I am happy with. This is the kind of data that I expect to have. Another thing you need to understand is automation. You need to find a way of streamlining your digital workspaces and processes so that things are more efficient for you and kind of centered, and you're not trying to use different digital tools all at once, which can cause so much overwhelm. So when you automate and streamline your digital workspace and your processes and bring everything into one little pot, you are making life simpler for yourself and therefore relieving the pressure. We'll get more into that later. Now, have you ever heard about design customation? This is where you'll be making use of your digital printing solutions. You need to know that when it comes to digital printing solutions, this can make your work easier as a sewing business, because now you are just going to be using templates and things that are already in the digital domain, which will also make it easier for you as you go about your own sewing business. Again, we will get more into that. Another really good thing that I like is where you can have digital showrooms. This is where you can reach potential and current clients through your social media lives by maybe having a display of your products in a room, and then you have a live streaming session where you are showing them your process, from maybe the part where you're cutting your material, the part where you're now stitching up, and the final product, but just then showing them that showroom of your different products and services, which will give them more involvement. You know, in the past, we would walk into a shop and get to see the showroom, and our senses are enticed by what we see, right? So you can actually do that digitally by showing people those photographs, those videos, which will increase the engagement and interest on social media platforms. You can also create an e-wardrobe. Now, what an e-wardrobe does is that you incorporate your designs into things that people interact with daily, like emojis or stickers or GIFs, anything that you find that your customers keen on interacting with on a daily basis. And so you then put your own products as part of the designs. Let me show you an example. This is something that Ralph Lauren and Bitmoji collaborated on, where they took, can you see the characters? They all have the polo t-shirt, which is a product of Ralph Lauren, and they put it onto the emojis. So what happens now is that as people are using the emojis, they are also interacting with the Ralph Lauren product, and that increases people's interest and engagement and their love for that particular product. The more they see it, the more they get to love it. Another thing that you need to do is to set trends. Do not be afraid to use your creativity to be a trendsetter. This is actually the time where you need to shift gears, get yourself out of the box, be innovative in your concepts and techniques so that you are able to stand out, right? And where people can interact with you on a different level, but digitally. For instance, you could teach your customers how they can take and provide measurements remotely. One thing I remember when I used to go to my tailor, in fact, until now, she has some of my fabric because my measurements keep changing, but I don't always have time to go there physically for me to be measured again and again. So you can actually do a lesson for your customers to show them how they can take their own measurements and provide those measurements to you remotely. And at the end of the day, for you to also deliver their product remotely. One other thing that you can also do is to customize the existing trends. What I mean by that is, you know, there's a lot of software online which is for design, like Repsketch. So that one has templates and sketches which you can now cut out and use for your designs. That is massively important where you want to cut on time, where you want to be more efficient and more productive. And you will get a lot of customer satisfaction, believe me, because one of the things that I know when it comes to the sewing business is the overwhelm of the customers wanting their things very quickly. But when you use things like the software, the graphic design software, it means you're cutting out a lot of the time which is required when you're cutting designs from scratch or creating templates and sketches from scratch. Here you've got something where you just choose and you're good to go. Isn't that nice? Now, I want to just talk about another tool, which is a 3D rendering technology. Now, the tool allows the brands to edit designs, you know, at the moment and instantly review your changes. So what this means is you can take a design and put it on a silhouette, all right? And you get to see what it's going to come out like. So it gives you a better visualization of what the design will look on a particular silhouette and how the fit will look like at the development process. So this minimizes you having to waste material, having to waste time, having to waste a lot of resources. And it also helps to reduce error in the samples before you get to your finalization process. So isn't that handy? Another thing that you can also look at is 3D printing. Here you'll be able to use cutting-edge scientific technologies such as digital knitting. Have you ever thought that would be possible? You know, with 3D printing, you can print just about anything. I've heard of people who are now manufacturing meat products using 3D printing. So what stops us from using that cutting-edge scientific technology to create our sewing products? All you need to do is just to do the research. I know some of the equipment can be quite expensive when you're starting, but a good idea would be for you to come together with other sewing experts in your area, and then you can buy these tools, these scientific technologies together, put money together, and then use them together. Isn't that right? Collaboration can still work in the sewing industry. Another area that is important is the area of blockchain. This will help us to keep track of purchases and to maintain records of supply chains while managing inventory. So here we're talking about a solution that creates a physical digital link between your products and the digital identities on the blockchain. Excuse me. So what a blockchain technology does is that it tracks the journey of raw materials through the supply chain up to the finished garment. Okay. So what you basically do is you have the physical product and then you have the digital link to that product, and they sort of move together. So you're keeping track of what's happening in the physical using the technology. And like digital currency, there will be a seal or a serial number for the physical identification, which is linked to the digital twin. What that does, it helps to prevent counterfeits. So if someone wanted to steal your product, you'll be able to keep track of it through using the blockchain technology or the blockchain solution. And if someone was to remove or replace with another product, you could actually be able to trace that there's been a counterfeit, that the product is not the one that was on the supply chain. So this is very important for us as we go about our new businesses and get to see what is happening there. Right. Another thing that we need to be able to do as people who are using digital tools is to predict the future. What I mean by that is when it comes to fashion, fashion is about trends, right? You can actually use technology to predict what the trend is, right? You can forecast. For example, if you use the one that's written there, which is Heritech. With Heritech, you can actually forecast what a particular trend will be in the future. And what that helps you with is that you're able to design in accordance with future trends. That gives you one edge up to other people who are still doing the same old thing and who haven't caught up to the different changes in trends. So you can then try to use prediction technologies as a sewing business. You need to create digital ecosystems. What we mean by that is you cannot stand alone. You cannot afford to stand alone as as you use digital platforms and digital tools. You need to find your tribe online, other people who are in the sewing business, so that you can find ways of using these digital tools together as a collaborative force. Like I said, some of these tools are game-changing, but they can also be quite expensive. But when you find your tribe and you come together, you can actually utilize the products together. You should also find a tribe that supports you, that encourages you, that helps you with finding the different solutions that you encounter, which are unique to you and your business. I know I've been talking a lot. If you find that there's anything that you want to ask, feel free to add your questions and your comments in the chat. I will be addressing those later. Now I want to move on to mobile commerce. Mobile commerce is critical in this digital era because you are able to utilize mobile money platforms for your purchases and payments. You no longer have to completely rely on people being physically close to you. You can actually distribute your products anywhere in the world utilizing mobile money platforms. Another thing that you can try to use is virtual and augmented reality. This one allows for your clients to try on outfits virtually. And I think this is a brilliant way of doing that in your business because, everybody wants to see how they look in an outfit before they actually buy it. So we've just said that people can purchase your products remotely and pay for them remotely, but they also want to see what they look like in your outfits remotely, virtually. So here, this is where virtual and augmented reality can work so that people can try on the product, and then that means they're more likely to buy it afterwards. There's a platform that is called VIRTUSIZE, and what this one does is that it allows online fashion retailers to virtually illustrate the size of their products to find the accurate fit for the garments, so that their customers are able to choose. So you can try to play around with such platforms so that you are able to give more of an insight into what the product looks on the customer at the end of the day. You can also try platforms like OBSESS, which allows brands and retailers to create and serve 3D, 360-degree shopping experiences on their websites and mobile apps and social channels using 3D Commercial Cloud. So here you might have your app as a sewing business, and then you use the OBSESS platform that will allow you to create your 3D shopping experiences on your apps and also on websites. It is important that we embrace current and emerging technologies and increase our digital skills. If there's anything that you're unsure of that, or that you're not confident with, please make sure that you embrace the emerging technologies that I've just spoken about and increase your digital skills. If it means investing money in it, investing time in improving your digital skills, go into it, because you do not want to miss out on a 3.3 trillion US dollar industry by the year 2030. This is a big industry that is so much potential for you to make a lot of money. But you can only do that if you embrace the current and the emerging technologies while increasing your digital skills. You need to also lead the way by showcasing your products and your work using social media, so that you are showing not just how brilliant you are, but also how responsible you are. Now, one topic that is very big is that of environmental impact. Can you share with me how you are being responsible in your use, in your work? How are you being environmentally friendly, for example? Because we've seen a lot of people, when they work with fabric, they end up discarding of the fabric in environmentally degrading ways. So that is one way that you can lead the way and be a good example and show your community that you care by being environmentally conscious. It is now time for a shift. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to know whether your relationship with technology is causing you overwhelm, distraction, or stress, right? Whatever we're doing as we're using our digital tools, we need to focus on our health and well-being which should be at the center of how we use and engage tech. So make sure that even as we are doing this, we continue to watch out for our health, because that is the key to our wealth. When we talk about this shift, we've seen that COVID-19 had a huge impact on the industry chains, where we've lost sales, we lost businesses, and so much more. We lost employees and employers. We lost customers and clients. But now we are given an opportunity to rebuild, right? And as we rebuild, we're being called upon to find a more sustainable approach, which will enable better resilience through taking advantage of the new digital technologies. Artificial intelligence will help us to enhance customer shopping experience, analyze data, like I was saying, boost your sales, forecast the trends, and offer inventory-related guidance. You can use chatbots to improve customer experience and give suggestions to customized products. You can also work well with what you have, right? I know we've talked about new things like AI, and we've talked about blockchain, but there are things that we have right now, and I want to implore you and encourage you to use what you have right now to maximize your visibility on social media platforms. Use the WhatsApp chats, use the WhatsApp groups, use the WhatsApp status, use your LinkedIn, talk about yourself as a professional, reach out to professionals. You know there are a lot of organizations that need your services. Talk to them on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on any of the social media platforms that you are already using, that you are already comfortable with. It doesn't have to be a nightmare for you to use digital tools, okay? You also need to be more orderly and more organized by creating a schedule. You need to use your calendars, the ones on your phone, for instance, for you to be able to block out time for specific tasks so that you're starting with the most important ones. I know one of the things that people complain about when they work with tailors is that they are never on time, or they don't produce on time. So here is your opportunity to use the digital tool that is on your phone, the calendar, or you can download apps like Calendly, where you can block out time for specific tasks, or you can actually have a way of scheduling your work so that you know what is supposed to be done at what point. Let's leverage mobile technology as much as possible as we are enhancing our productivity and reducing stress by taking advantage of its mobility, so that no matter where you are able to work, to give instruction, to buy products, to sell product, do anything else that you need to do in your business. Continue to leverage on the mobility of mobile technology. I talked about relationships and having a tribe. Thank God to tech, we now are able to form strategic relationships and use them effectively. So because you now have the ability to access people in ways that we never thought possible, this is the time to build strategic relationships, network with other people, build your brand, right? Because you are the brand, and people have to know you and to like you and to trust you. So use that technology to build brands, to tell people about what you do, to show them the other side of you that is likable, that will encourage them to buy from you. Unleash your creative juices by exploring and discovering what technology has to offer. There is just so much. I could have never finished it in one session, but I want you to encourage you to continue to explore and discover new things on the internet that will help you to evolve as a business in order for you to grow and to diversify and to come up with new ways of doing things. There's not limit in this environment. I want to just leave you with this, that you need to utilize technology efficiently, not just for you to get ahead, but to ensure that you have downtime as well, for you to relax, reflect, and recover therefore making sure that you're in the best possible condition to take on the world as you build and rise in your sewing business. I thank you for taking time to listen to me, and I would love to hear your questions, your comments, and your thoughts around using digital tools in your sewing business. My name is Edith Utete. Thank you.